Connor with CalTV Music. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Robyn, international pop superstar. She took time out of her busy schedule, and let's go ahead. First off, I found out that you were discovered when you were 13, and I was wondering how that affected you growing up, and how you've been able to stay grounded all these years.
I was lucky enough to be born in Sweden, which is a small country way away from everything else, so I could go back there and I could really have my privacy there. I think the way I was raised was, just to do what I thought was good for me, and I was not really impressed by the celebrity lifestyle. So even though I kind of got famous early or whatever, I kind of left it early as well.
Does your family play a big part in keeping you grounded, family and friends?
I think they do. My family, my parents never told me like this is what you have to think about, or, but I think I just followed their example. They had an independent theater group when I was growing up, and for them it was always about the theater, about what they were doing on stage. It was not about being, famous or anything like that. So I think that's more what influenced me than anything else.
Pop music seems to get a really bad rap in the mainstream, but you've been able to keep your music fresh and innovative. What inspires you?
Life inspires me, but within that, it could be anything from watching another artist perform to cartoons, or I play a lot of video games. It could be just a moment, like you're somewhere and you see something and it makes you think of something. I think what inspires people to make music is what inspires all other people to do what they do as well. It's just those certain situations where you get a different perspective on something and inspires you to write.
So your latest EP, it just dropped January 29th. It features Be Mine. Is this song based off of anyone in particular or any experience in particular?
Well, Be Mine is a classic love song, and I think it's inspired by all the times I've been heartbroken. But what we did, me and Klaus, who I wrote the song with, we decided to go back, to that state of mind you're in when you're a teenager, when you're 15, and everything's very black and white and emotional. And I think that's still what everyone feels like when they get dumped, no matter how old you get. And it was a good way of just describing that situation really clearly. But it's not about a particular situation or person. It's not about describing real life. I mean, if I would, talk about, waking up in the morning and having a shit and reading the paper, I don't think people would be interested. It's about capturing, the emotion of the situation. And in that sense, I think, in that perspective, we can really connect to each other no matter who we are. And that's really cool about pop music, that it's this medium where you can be very direct about emotion.
So I'm really interested, you started your own record label, Konnichiwa Records. After you became disillusioned, I read kind of with the music industry and everything that's happening. What is the best part about running and starting your own record label?
The best part about having your own record label is that you get to be free and you don't have anybody telling you what to do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there a worst part about it? Is there something that's not fun? Or?
Well, I work more. There's more to do. There's more responsibilities, but I'm enjoying it. It's fun and it's exciting, and I wouldn't want to work any other way.
What made you choose the Japanese phrase hello instead of another language like Swedish or something?
Well, I wrote a song called Konnichiwa together with Klaus, and the title of the song was inspired by an American comedian called Dave Chappelle. He did a sketch where he used the line Konnichiwa. And we thought it was funny, and we decided to use it in the song. And by the end of the recording of the album, I still didn't have a name for the label, so I just kind of thought of Konnichiwa because it had been there throughout the whole recording period. So it's not really, there's no meaning behind it, no real thought. It's just something that felt natural and simple.
It's quite catchy. You were quoted as saying, "I don't think you're going to have big record companies in 5 years, even 3. Do you think that music will solely be distributed online via the internet?
I think that major record companies might still be around. I think I was a little drastic in saying that, but I think that they're going to have a totally different role. They're not going to do what they're doing or what they have been doing anymore. I think everything is changing and everything is kind of upside down at the moment. And I think it's an interesting time because you can push boundaries and you can really affect this kind of new structure that's about to come in place by doing new things and finding new solutions. You know, I think it's up to all of us artists to push that now while we can before this new structure is in place. Hopefully they won't have the same powers that they had before, but I still think there's a place for them and I think they're needed.
So what do you think about the approach that Radiohead kind of took with their latest album, In Rainbows, where they just let their fans kind of pay whatever they felt was appropriate?
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that other artists can use and something that will be viable?
I think that Radiohead could do what they did because they're Radiohead and they have a very strong fan base who are not, you know, dependent on them being, you know, advertised and, you know, in big medias. You know, they're always going to follow what they do. So I don't think that's a solution for all artists, but I think it's one way of doing stuff maybe differently in the future, and I think it's good that they're doing it and showing, you know, that that's possible for them.
So you were just in New York and you're on your way to Los Angeles tomorrow?
Yeah.
In a couple of days. Do you have any plans to do any more stops in the U.S.?
I was really surprised and amazed by the vibe I got from the audience when we did our first show in New York. I have not been here for 10 years and I've never played live in the U.S., so it was overwhelming to get that reception. And it made me want to, of course, look at new shows and try to come back here as soon as possible. But also the album is being released here in April, so I'm going to be here a lot more this year. And I know I'm going to be playing shows here.
Yeah, I think everyone's really looking forward to that for sure.
Me too.
What it seems like, yeah. And finally, if you could only take one thing from home on the road with you, what would that one thing be?
My boyfriend.
That's a really good thing to bring along with you on the road. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck at the show tonight. Can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much.